What is going on, guys? Stevo Supremo here, and I just got back from an awesome Facebook Marketplace deal that had this tub of Nintendo 64 goodness. So I can't wait to show you guys what's in here, some stuff that really made me smile. So let's get into it. Enough jibber jabbering. Let's get into the tub. Alright guys, so I showed you a little teaser of the tub full of games and stuff here, Nintendo 64 box stuff. We got games, we got controllers, we got the system. I'll throw the Facebook listing up on the screen right now from what I saw. If I still had it in my phone, if they deleted it and I couldn't get a screenshot, I apologize. But yeah, so let's start getting into this thing and show you guys what I got. I can't believe I was still the first one to message the guy, and he ended up holding it for me for almost 6 hours until I got off of work and had to drive to his place. So shout out to JB, awesome guy. I told him about the channel so he could come and check it out and see the unboxing and stuff while I'm showing it off. So JB, you hooked it up, man. Thanks again for the great deal on this stuff. And yeah, let's get into this stuff. So this was his stuff from like childhood, but it was at his grandmother's house. His grandma had it, kind of like her system for them to play while they were there. But yeah, just hadn't been doing nothing. It's been sitting in a closet for like 10 years. They haven't touched it. So he wanted to give it a new home, and luckily it's now in my home. So let's get into this stuff. And we're also going to try some different stuff here, guys. We'll do some different camera angles and everything on some of the things I'm showing off so you can get some close-up looks at it, and not just at my mug this whole time. So let's start off with the things that were really cool that jumped out to me, and that's the controllers here. We have 3 box controllers here. The first one we'll get out the way. We'll do a zoom up action for you guys on it because it's really cool. It says Dad's hands off. So this was Dad's controller. No one else could play with it, I guess, in their household. But again, it is the red one in its box complete. And what's really cool with all these, they still have their shrink wrap and everything on them inside. So they saved it all. They would take the controllers out, play with them, and then they save the wrapping and stuff in the box. So that is really cool. And some of these still have the price stickers on it. This one was $29.99 back in the day when they got it. So really cool, because I think they're like 70 bucks plus now if you find them in the box. But along with the red one, it actually came with 2 of the green ones as well. So we got 2 of the green ones that came in the bundle, again, complete in box. And if their manuals aren't inside here, they actually he had a booklet of manuals on the side. And so yeah, I got some manuals and extra fillings that would go into things that might go into some of these. And in some of the games, I already paired up the manuals with their games that were in the stack. So all the games I'm going to show are complete. And there were some extras here we'll go over in the end, which if they were complete in box in there, it would have been super cool. But anyways, other than the controllers, it actually had some of the add-ons you could get for the Nintendo 64 as well. And that being the memory card that is complete in box, and the Rumble Pack complete in its package. So really cool to come across these. Again, kind of out in the wildish or on the marketplace because you just don't see them that often. The boxes always got thrown away. So to have these in the box is it's crazy how all the Nintendo 64 stuff were in their boxes. So it's really neat. So now let's dive into some of the games. Like some of these games aren't world beaters, guys. Stuff like this right here. Wheel of Fortune, nothing too crazy to shout out about, but it's still cool to have it complete in box, and it still has the shrink wrap on this one. So that's another little add-on bonus to this one. So a lot of these are they're in a little bit of they've had some love. They've been opened, but some of them are in really good shape. So Wheel of Fortune, welcome to the collection. And since we're talking about Wheel of Fortune, we might as well get Jeopardy out the way with Alex Trebek here. Again, this box is in fairly decent shape. Kind of the tongue here opens up a little bit on it. But other than that, still really nice box, really good condition. And some of these do have the price tags on it. If we go back to Wheel of Fortune and I zoom up on it in a close-up, you'll see it was like a $70 game back in the day. $69.99 to get that thing brand new. So again, we talk about prices and stuff now. $69.99 back then would have been pretty expensive compared to today's time where we're paying money. And that's for Wheel of Fortune, so pretty crazy. All right, next up, we're not even going to try to pronounce the W word, but Country Club Golf here. Again, complete in box. Awesome. Next up, we have Off-Road Challenge here on the Nintendo 64, which I don't think I've ever played this one. I played a good amount of racing games on the 64, but This one I do not recall trying out, so it'll be fun to try that out. And last but not least, on kind of like the lower end ones, we got Mission Impossible here. And again, you can see the price tag sticker on it, $69.99. So man, expensive stuff back in the day. No wonder I waited until games were $20 back in the day, even before I still got some of my stuff. So, or we did a lot of renting at Blockbuster. Here's a really cool one. Cruising USA is a arcade game that I love to play in the arcade. And I remember playing on the 64 growing up, and not really having that same effect as playing in the arcade. Cruising USA not being my favorite. Of course, Cruising Around the World. Cruising the World was the one for me. Just cruising. I'm not going to try to sing, but Cruising the World was just awesome. Cruising USA didn't have the same kind of soundtrack and feel like Cruising World had, so, but still really cool to have it in the collection. Another classic here, Wave Race 64. This is the player's choice version, so it was one of those things like back in the day, I didn't realize when they would hit the million sell point. That's not something I realized, so I started collecting when I got older. Is, you know how we get greatest hits and stuff with PlayStation and everything? I didn't really know until I got older that Nintendo had their own thing where once they hit a certain point, they kind of have like a bestseller version of it as well. So really cool. And this box, again, in really nice condition. Little defects here and there, but still can't wait to get these in protectors and keep them safe for the rest of their lives now. And next up we have here is Tetrasphere. My son, you guys have seen videos of him and stuff. He loves Tetris. He's really good at Tetris. So it'll be cool like watching him play a different style of Tetris game to see if he gets into it. Because this is like more of a 3D-ish style, it looks like, where it's going around a sphere, Tetrasphere. So I can't wait to see him dive into this one. Now on to like the three bigger hitters in the final three games of the game side. The first one being Diddy Kong Racing, which a lot of people hold this one in high regards. They even hold it up higher than Mario Kart 64. I haven't put enough time into Diddy Kong Racing to kind of get my judgment call on that yet. But I love Mario Kart 64. And if people are saying this is in a higher regard than that, then they might not just be saying it for no reason at all. It must have a purpose to it. So another, boom, $70 price tag. Again, this box, both the end flaps are kind of wanting to find their way out some, but still awesome to have it. I just know it's got like a little sticker here of someone's address on the side, so I won't show that. But that's interesting too, but really cool to have that complete in box. So probably the most valuable one out of the whole lot, as far as like price-wise, is a complete in box Mischief Maker. It's one that, yep, I've had it loose forever. One of the first games when collecting again I found for my 64 collection. But now we got a complete in box, but I've never played it yet, so we'll get around to it one day playing these games. But this is a really cool one to add to the collection, complete with everything. And again, another price tag on it. This time it's discounted. We got it at $54.99 if you can see it on that one. So the price dropped on that one. But the coolest one in the lot to me was this bad boy right here, the Star Fox 64, complete with the Rumble Pack and everything in it as well. And this box, like for being the one I was most excited about, is the crispiest one. Like, it is a nice box. These things are like built tough, man. This thing, it was actually kind of hard getting the lip open here to check and make sure everything was in there, man, because it is just in really good shape. There's no bends or anything even in that. So awesome box, awesome game. So really cool to add this to the collection complete in box. And also here's some of the paperwork stuff that came in it. This was actually in there too, the Super Mario 64 survival guide. I've never even heard of this thing before, but I guess this is kind of like a player's guide, a homebrew style one. This cost you $12.95 back in the day if you wanted it, but detailed and easy to read chapters with strategies for beginners and advanced players alike for Super Mario 64. So that's pretty cool. And then all the extra manuals and stuff here. Again, I paired all the manuals with their stuff already, so they're already in there. But these were the extra ones, which means these were games that they had. And yeah, that somehow, I think he said his uncle, they had other systems and stuff, but his uncle had taken them. And these games are probably at his house and stuff too. But they did have Turok at one point. They did have, we were just talking about it, Mario Kart 64. in Super Mario 64, which this is awesome because I have my box copy of Super Mario 64 already, but it did not have a manual. So this will be going into that bad boy to complete it. And it also had like all the filler parts here. So you can really make, so there's some more stuff for Mario Kart right there that would fill it up. So all the paperworks and caution things that you could just pair up with games that would always have them. So really cool to have that because I can make my Super Mario one really official now with the extra paperwork. And of course, we can't play all these games unless we have the system, the complete in-box Nintendo 64 system. And you can see the price tag on the bottom. Right at the bottom, if we zoomed in on it, it says $149.99. So they paid $150 for this system. And what's really cool is if I show you the back of it, it actually has the purchase date of the console. If I zoom in on it, you'll see it in the footage here. It says 5/24/1997 with the sticker on the back. And the system actually the Nintendo 64 actually launched in North America in September of '96. So this is about 11 months after the release of the system. And they already have it down at like $150. I don't know the price that it launched at, but $150 seems like a pretty good deal for the system. And this box, other than one little defect in the top, is in really good condition. And the inside is even prettier. Of course, we'll open it up and show you guys what it looks like inside with the styrofoam. It even has the paperwork with it. This isn't the system I got when I got my 64. I actually got the version that had the atomic purple controller in it. So one day later on down the road, it would be cool to actually get that version of the Nintendo 64 complete in box, just because personally it was the one I had. If it means I can trade this one to get to it, I would probably do that if it matches the condition. But until then, we'll keep this one in the collection until I can get that one to fill that void from the childhood, from the box that I actually own. So still keep an eye on your marketplace deals, guys. It's once in a blue moon, like a really good one will pop up. So, and you never know when that chance will be. It could be at 11 o'clock at night. It could be at 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. And hopefully you do have a little stash like saved up for me, like for if you see something on there that could be $500, could be $1,000, that you'll be ready to go to pounce on it when it's ready. Lucky enough, I have some money put away to be able to do that. That's for the game collection. And when those chances pop up, you got to be ready to strike. So keep an eye out on it because you never know when something like this could pop up. And maybe you'll get as lucky as me and be able to score something pretty cool like this for your collection. So if you have recently, share it with the comments below. Maybe you're a YouTuber and you have a video of it too, showing off what you got. Tell me about it and I'll go check your video out. So thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one.